Welcome to Logos Jiu-Jitsu. So happy to pretend to see everybody. In this video, I'm going to give you guys a therapeutic warm-up / workout, depending on the intensity that you want to perform it at. And I'm going to give you 7 movements that have basic human movement patterns built into them. They're only semi-functional and they cross into a little more functional at some points, and a little less therapeutic and a little more dynamic at some points. So I give you a good range. It's very progressive. It starts out very gentle, and this is going to be good for people with a lot of miles on the body. If you're a younger student, there's some coordination challenges that are built in this, but it's a little less essential for younger students or kids who are just learning Jiu-Jitsu. So let's go ahead and get started with the basic Hindu squats. Okay, movement number 1 out of 7. I'm just going to squat and use the rotation of my arms to give me a little momentum to make this movement easier. Okay, so with good form, it's going to look like this in terms of how much I'm hinging my hips. But since it's light, I can do a little bit of poor form, and especially because I have my hands helping me, if I want to get a little more hip hinge to warm up that low back at a level that's right for you. Okay? Movement number 2, wave lunges. As I rotate, I'm either on my heels for a balance challenge. You can see it's pretty challenging on the heels, or on the balls of the feet. If you want to make it a little more functional, you're just going to stick to the mat or whatever a little more. Once I come to the side, I'm dropping down under control to lightly place that other knee down. I'm going to hip hinge all the way till my shoulder touches my knee. I'm reaching across my body and around. Both arms are reaching in the same direction as I rock back and straighten this leg to get a little bit of a gentle hamstring stretch. And as I rock forward right before I drive up, I'm getting a little bit of a hip flexor stretch. Now I'm going to go to functional speed. And you really go at the speed that you feel comfortable with. Okay, movement number 3, orbit lunges. It's a side lunge. I'm calling it orbit because the head is making the biggest circle that it can make around the hands. My feet are about 2 shoulder widths apart. Hands 1 shoulder width from each other, 1 shoulder width from the feet, roughly. Okay. As I go to one side, one leg is straightening, one leg is bending. Don't force the straightening, but go progressively to get a nice dynamic stretch, as I'm also warming up the hip joints and the shoulders, warming up the knees a little bit. Okay, movement number 4, windmill sprawls, also known as Spider-Mans. I like calling it windmill sprawls because there is an actual sprawl motion in here. The total body movement is not functional to the sprawl, but the fact that I am dropping one hip is definitely functional to the sprawl. So, I'm bringing the hand up on the same side that the knee is up in the air. And then if I'm just learning this, I put the hand back down, knee back down, step the opposite knee up, opposite hand up. Once I'm comfortable with this, I'm going to do more of a hopping switch. So I put the hand down, push my hips up, jump switch. So with this one, you can go as fast as you want. You might get comfortable with this. You can really rep out on this one and get some good cardio out of it. You're also getting the therapeutic benefit of this thoracic mobilization, which is especially good for grapplers who have a stiff thoracic spine. You're getting the hip flexor stretch at the same time that you're getting that sprawl, learning to drop that hip, that heavy hip, if somebody was attacking that leg through a single leg, or even a double if you just blade away and deflect them and only leave them with that one heavy leg. Okay? So next, number 5, stationary jacqueries. Okay, so this is really very, very close to the movement that we just did. The only thing that I really need to change is that instead of bringing my hand up, I'm bringing my hand down to the mat connecting my elbow to my knee, and then I'm doing a push-up here. Okay, and then I can just do that jump switch, change the hand placement a little bit, and push up on this side. Okay, so it can be as dynamic as you want with that one. Number 6, hip bump sweep drills. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the mat. I'm going to learn how to set myself up with a pendulum, which is functional in a lot of situations. I bring that with a straight leg, and when I kick, I flex my core, keep my leg connected to the core. If I just do this, I'm not going anywhere. I sit up with it, okay? And when I sit up, this knee is going down, this hand is going down, this knee is up in the air, this hip is coming up, and then I'm stopping the motion right here if I want to use this more for the workout, or I'm continuing the motion through if I want to make it more functional for how an actual hip bump sweep works. Coming around 135 degrees if I'm being functional. If I just want it for the hip extension and the straight arm scapular stability of my support arm, my post arm, okay, then it's going to look more like this. Okay, add in a twist at the end or not, as your preference. And the last one is going to be hip up angels. Okay, so I'm actually going to be down again. This is really a basic skill in Jiu-Jitsu, being able to bring my hips up. So it's really 2 movements to get my hips up. First, I've got to rock back, get my knees going over my head, and then it's an opposite motion, driving my knees up and my shoulders or my hips over my head. Okay, now when I want to make this more of a workout, I'm going to put my hands to the mat either with a neutral grip like hammer fist or with palms up, so that I'm getting external rotation to counteract, the overabundance of internal rotation we get as grapplers, right? We get a rounding of the shoulders just as well as, other basic habits, right, of modern life. So we want to get that external rotation, and I'm bracing against the mat here, palms up as I do the rock back and the hip up, and keeping my legs straight to place more pressure on my hands and elbows bracing against the mat. So it's going to look like this. And so I'm keeping that constant, I'm constantly pushing against the mat. Obviously, I'm not going anywhere until I help and use my momentum. But once I do use that momentum, I'm accelerating that movement by continuing to press my arms into the mat. Okay, now a variation of this, if we want to make it more functional. For Jiu-Jitsu, then it's going to be a triangle drill. Arms are still here, but I'm going to start to one side. I'm going to go up and rotate, locking on the side that I'm moving to. So that's a more advanced, more functional variation. The triangle drill, good ab workout, and you can still get the external rotation and the work on the back there. Okay, one other variation of number 4, the windmill sprawls, is I can move side to side. Okay, that's going to make it more dynamic for how I might move when I'm actually sprawling, and it's also going to put a little more pressure on my shoulders. So the way that's going to work is here, boom, and then as I switch, jump all the way, boom. So I'm rotating, again about 135 degrees, boom, boom. Okay, so that was Hindu squats, wave lunges, orbit lunges, windmill sprawls, stationary jacqueries, hip bump sweep drills, and what I'm calling hip up angels with the triangle drill in there. Reps and sets. however you want to use it. If it's a warm-up, I would say minimum 10 reps of each. And it can warm you up pretty quick. If you want to use it as a workout, I would say 20 reps each, and then, or 20 reps minimum, but really as many as you want, and you could go through it in sets if you want. And that's a pretty good total body workout. Not a ton of strength, but decent strength, endurance, semi-functional, and some pretty good therapeutic movements in there to counteract some of the postural deficiencies and lack of mobility, hip flexors getting too tight, thoracic spine getting stiff, being two of the main things that a lot of these movements address. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope it's something that you can use, and look forward in the next video to things that are more functional. It's going to be more applicable to my younger students, much more fundamental functional movement drills of Jiu-Jitsu, kind of like homework that everybody should be doing. Okay, so this is a good one for the adults or kids who want a little more of a coordination challenge. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll pretend to see you on the next video. Thanks a lot.